Wuthering Waves is shaping up to be a phenomenal game, but people are trying to tear it apart, break it down, pick at anything and everything they can to fabricate drama. Case in point, this tweet made by Curry Drawing Boxes. Seeing portraits of every Wuthering Waves character made me yawn frame zero. Not even the slightest bit of skin tone variance. That is insane. Now they say not even the slightest bit of skin tone variance. But looking at some of these characters, you can tell a noticeable difference in skin tone for several of them. Like, I mean, even on just the first line, you could see several different characters. Like, look at the skin tone for Yang Yang, then look at Encore. Or look at I forget who the girl next to Sanhua is, between Yinlin and Sanhua. Like, I literally just on the right side of my screen see 3 different skin tones. It baffles me that for whatever reason, when it comes to Asian games featuring Asian characters in an Asian setting, people always, for whatever reason, bring in race and start fabricating drama between races. As someone that is half Chinese, I find absolutely no issue with the skin tone, the pigmentation for these characters. If they were light, darker, but that's just me. Let's go ahead and see what people on their tweet have to say. Before we do, though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon and allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. Now let's look at these comments. Must be a shocker that a game set in a Chinese-inspired region doesn't have black characters. This actually, I think, how many likes did this get? This got 23 likes, 251 for the image, but this comment right here has 2,100 likes. You might need a better monitor or phone. Each of these characters has a noticeably different skin tone. I'm glad I'm not the only one that can see that. I don't know how they couldn't see. There are literally like half a dozen different characters here that all have different skin tones. Some of the guys and some of the girls. I play to have fun, not to collect races. Thank you. So do I. I mean, they're mostly Chinese, so it's a given they be all Asian. No, they're not mostly. If I'm correct, they're all Chinese. Now, this is a fantasy setting, but they are still, at their core, all Chinese characters, which should be evident if you just look at any of their names. Baiji, Qisha, Danjin, Jianxin, Jiyan, Lingyang, Sanhua, Tao Qi, Yang Yang, Yuan Wu. None of those, they are about as Chinese as you can get. As someone that is half Chinese, yes, those are Chinese sounding names. So it stands to reason the Chinese sounding people, the people with the Chinese names in a Chinese setting are Chinese. None of the characters are called like Dave or James or Frederico. Little bro cares more about skin color than whether or not a character is actually good, while also failing to understand what the game setting is inspired by. If you want a bunch of diversity checkmarks with no substance, go watch any recent Marvel. Oh, damn! That is savage. Then don't play it. There you go. If you have an issue with something, just disregard it. Because this take is so disconnected and just absolutely false that it's laughable and kind of a little bit humiliating. Why are you lot so obsessed with the color of skin? That is a very good question. The characters all just look absolutely beautiful, and at the end of the day, like, that's what I care about. Whether the character is good, whether the character looks good. Because you're spending money to obtain these husbandos and waifus, so you better like what you're getting. And if you don't, just, go play another game. When people realize bringing up the race card in nonsensical situations like this heavily undervalues the situations where race is being targeted negatively. That is true. I mean, when Chinese characters that are set in a post-apocalyptic China are not black. I'm dark-skinned Asian, but even then, I know that this is just a garbage take. It's a Chinese game made with Chinese first in mind. Like, that's another thing, right? This game, while all of the characters pretty much are Chinese, this is also targeting the Chinese audience, right? China, first and foremost. it is being released to the West after being developed for China. Now, evidently, that means the Chinese player base is the main focus, and they would design characters that Chinese players can better relate to, that Chinese players might prefer. I'm not saying they do. I'm saying that as Westerners, we are less important than the Chinese players. Imagine playing a game, but only caring about the character's skin tone. Do we really need to play the race card? Why can't people like something with an individual mindset and not out of social norms? Don't play it then. This happens on nearly every new gacha. That is also true. I feel like the vast majority of gacha games have light-skinned characters, but that is because, and I know this might be a foreign concept to some of you, but a lot of gacha games are made in Asia, Korea, China, and target a predominantly Korean and Chinese player base. With this in mind, what can Chinese and Korean players most easily relate to? Characters that are designed after Chinese and Korean players, or human beings, people. Sounds like there's just one region, and then okay, so here's proof that Kuro do introduce other skin tone characters. They have a darker skin tone character in Punishing Grey Raven. So I'm assuming, since they're all from the same region, they all kind of have the same appearance. But if they introduce additional regions, the skin tones might vary then. Maybe the hairstyles or hair colors might also alter a little bit. Damn, bro, a Chinese-inspired region filled with Chinese, who would have thought? Actual behavior of someone who doesn't have hobbies. Oh boy. So, you know, at the end of the day, this is just very stupid. I think all of the characters in Wuthering Waves look absolutely beautiful. I think that there is plenty of diversity there. It's not by, you know, to an enormous extent, but there is nonetheless. Saying that they all look exactly the same is ridiculous. But, I mean, you know, people like to fabricate drama out of nothing. This isn't the first time this has happened. This happens, I feel like, all the time in Genshin Impact. So it's kind of par for the course. Now, if Wuthering Waves is not a gacha you're at all interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered 2 different videos on screen right now. Might be more up your alley.